year since the landmark Beatles album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, was released. To celebrate, the Fab Four's hometown is marking the occasion, and as part of that, a Brooklyn-based group has come up with a new dance based on the record. Stephanie Simon is with me now via Skype with more on this. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Pat. Well, I'm a huge Beatle fan. I know you are too, and so is Mark Morris, the head of the Mark Morris dance group. And yes, they were commissioned by the town of Liverpool to not only put on this great dance inspired by the album, but they're kicking off the town's entire festivities, which begin later today. I think they were chosen because this dance is really inspired by the whole album, whereas other artists who were commissioned to do works perhaps had a particular song. And I think that's why they were chosen. Mark Morris, of course, a huge Beatles fan. All the dancers we spoke to talked about how exciting this was. Of course, Morris is used to choreographing to classical music, and I think everyone was excited to do something with original Beatles music, but also a music that was written just for this dance, inspired by the spirit of the 60s.
A recreation of the 60s, of the Summer of Love, but it refers to it, and it's not, I don't know, it's not in air quotes. It's direct, and it's a new way of listening and watching to this music.
And also bringing the era of when the album was released and bringing it to life on the stage. And it's just really exciting to be able to move and share that.
Now, this was a quick turnaround for Mark Morris. They just got the commission about 3.5 months ago. You got to check out these very cool costumes, obviously inspired by the album. But they told us, Pat, we had to be really unobtrusive because they were down to the wire on this dance. But of course, the person who was distracting them wasn't me. It wasn't our crew. Actually, it was Mark Morris himself, and let's hear why.
I have to say, as much as I adore NY1 and always have, I worship Pat Kiernan.
Okay, well, we can put him on anytime then.
So here's Mark Morris telling his dancers in the middle of the rehearsal, raise your hand if you watch in the papers. Raise your hand, everybody, if you watch in the papers. And then throughout the entire rehearsal, Pat, he kept stopping and telling them, I don't like the way that move looks. Pat Kiernan's going to see this. This is going to be on NY1. So, after telling us, be unobtrusive, don't get in the way of the dancers, don't interrupt the rehearsal, we're down to the wire. Mark Morris could not focus. He was so excited that you were going to see this, let alone the entire town of Liverpool.
All right, well, we've closed the loop now, and I'm watching. Mark, thank you. Thank you to you, Stephanie. We'll talk to you again soon.
Great.